Hello, everybody, and welcome to week one of the spring 2022 section of rock music history and appreciation. I'm super glad that you're here, and now we get to start diving into the materials, sort of. This is going to ease you in. I just got to make sure that we're all on the same page and set with a good foundation so we're ready to go. By now, you should have gone through the early modules, including the welcome module, so you know everything that is ahead of you, and you kind of have a good sense of how to prepare for the class, what's expected of you, and all of that. So we're going to start to get into the materials. And so this video, like you will have every week, there will be a welcome to the week video. And then there will be questions that will just randomly pop up through the video, could be at the end. Something to keep in mind is that at the end, I may ask you a question about something that I said earlier. Or sometimes I'll even ask you weird random things like something maybe about what's on a bookshelf behind me, or, somewhere in the room. So it's just really about keeping us engaged. So I think that if you watch these videos, which are assignments, they are part of your grade, they're easy points. All you got to do is watch them and answer the questions, and you'll be good to go. Yeah, and again, remember also that I think I could explain in the video that the way my materials for each week work, they're sequential, and so you have to get through a module before it unlocks the next module. And that's just because it's not me trying to be a jerk or anything. It's just that I want you to get the materials a particular way. So the week will always start off with this, and then the next module doesn't open until you've completed that. So you can't get into the week's materials until you've done this assignment. So it's really important that you hit these as early in the week as possible. My suggestion, if it is all doable, is that you hit them on Mondays. Whatever time works. Get up early, stay up late. If you've got a lot of time, whatever. I've had students reach out to me and they're like, look, I'm working, 13 full-time jobs, and I'm taking 150 units and all this sort of stuff. It's really important that you balance your life. And so understand that a full-time load in college and a full-time job is really hard, okay? It's a lot of work if you're doing it right. So if you're working full-time plus, which I do on top of teaching this class, then maybe don't take 12 units, take 6. And I'll tell you something, there's a number of things that I'm going to say randomly throughout this class. The first one is, in terms of your education, it's not a race. There is no award for getting your degree earlier than anybody else. Once you're out, it's not a big deal. And I won't go on these rants every time, but a couple of things. One, your GPA. Your high school GPA only counts to get you into college. That's the only thing that matters. You will never be asked your GPA again in high school once you've hit the college world. So don't worry about that. Your college GPA only matters if you're going to grad school. It's the only time they'll ever ask you. And then it'll never ask you again. I have never been asked since I have my bachelor's, I have my master's. I've never been asked what my GPA was. Nobody cares, right? So also, whether you get your degree at 14 or 22 or 30 doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal, especially nowadays. The job market out there is so weird and all of that. So what matters is that you're learning what is being taught in the classes, because the idea is that you apply those to life. You apply them to the things that are out there. So one of the things that I say all the time, this is not a race. It's good that you're learning. It's good to be educated. If you're doing this for the money, you're not doing it. There's better ways, right? Get involved in a trade, become a plumber, become an electrician, become a computer programmer. There's so many things you could do that make really good money that don't require a degree. So hopefully you're here because you want to learn. The other thing that I'll say throughout this semester, you'll hear a lot, is that nothing exists in a vacuum. And what I mean by that is that when you start learning about a new artist, a new song, a new style, a new genre, which is the musical term for like styles, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Nothing just shows up on the scene with no influences, nothing leading to it. So one of the fun things about this class is learning those influences. And it's fun to uncover these songs that you didn't realize were cover songs. And, oh yeah, now I can hear that the influence of EDM actually comes from disco. And, you'll start to put all these beautiful connections together. The other thing that I'll say maybe periodically is that death is good for a career. And what I mean by that, sadly, is that many artists become more popular after they die. They sell more records, they sell more shirts, and you can just probably think of one right now, and then a lot of people know who they are way more than they ever did before, and that's just kind of how it goes. So anyways, back to the whole thing. Manage your time well so that you can get this done. Manage your life well. It's important that you have a good life balance. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That you have a good life balance going, and especially in this pandemic, right? Everything's nuts. Everything is crazy. Don't put too much work on yourself. It's not worth it. It's not worth it physically. It's not worth it mentally. Balance your life out as best you can, as much as possible. Okay, so this week is an orientation week. So the goal of this week is really to get you all on the same foundation. And then next week, we actually start going through music. And then it'll dig into the textbook and all that. So I do that for a couple of reasons. One, sometimes we get late ads in the class. Two, sometimes people aren't getting the book. Again, yes, you need the book. I showed you in the welcome video, but this is the book, Rock Music Styles, 8th edition. Can you use the 7th edition? Probably. Most of the changes are at the end. There's a few earlier on. If you go earlier than that, there's enough changes that it could get in the way. My suggestion is get it the least expensive way possible. So ideally, I would just rent it for the semester. It's not a book you'd necessarily want on your shelves, although maybe you would. But yeah. So make sure you have it, because the materials are super closely tied to it. Not this week, but starting next week, absolutely, definitely. So this week, you're going to learn about a few things. I know by now, probably everybody's got some experience taking online classes, unless you're just kind of jumping back into school, and that's totally cool. And if you are, hats off to you and welcome. And so you kind of get to use that. Now, maybe some of you have never used Canvas before. So you're going to get some materials on how to use Canvas. And I think it's a really great interface. It's pretty straightforward. I have it set up in what I think is a really logical way that flows. You'll get the rhythm of how everything works. You can always see what's coming up. Be sure you're paying attention to those due dates. Please, set up your announcements so that you get emails, so that you get notifications, so that you know what's coming on and what's expected to you. So you're going to learn about that. There's a page about how to study and learn effectively. And you're going to learn about these 6 techniques that are really important to learning and to studying. And you're going to be asked about them in an assignment. So definitely watch the video. Maybe take some notes. Between us, I would write down the names of the 6 styles as they were going, and maybe just a little jogger, sort of memory jog of what each one is. Because some of them aren't exactly clear by the name of them. So when you learn about, say, dual coding, you're thinking, I don't really know what that is, but it'll tell you, and it's actually pretty straightforward. And then you'll probably think like I did, like, isn't there a better name for that? But whatever, I didn't come up with the stuff. So you're going to learn about that. You're going to learn about how to deal effectively with online classes, online learning strategies. So there's links to modules. Watch them, read them. I think they're mostly videos. So that you can approach this. Because a lot of people got thrown in when the pandemic hit. They got thrown into online learning by people that weren't trained like I was on how to teach online. And so there are really right ways and wrong ways to do this, both from an instructor perspective and from a student perspective. So make sure you go through those, because you're going to be questioned on those. You're going to be covering on netiquette, which is sort of internet etiquette. And so just some simple, straightforward things. There's an infographic with some points that maybe you never thought about in terms of how do you deal with people online. I wish that everybody in the world would read it, because apparently 90% of the people out there that are online and on the socials don't even know that. And so you're going to learn about that. And then you're going to learn about something called neural nostalgia. And this is a really important concept. I'm going to let you watch a video, and there's a short video, and then just a page to read, an article to read that I brought in. But really, neural nostalgia is sort of the connections that we have, particularly to music, but it can be to other things as well. Smell is another strong memory trigger. But neural nostalgia and why our favorite music is our favorite music. And so I'm not going to get into all of that because you're going to learn about it, but you may not have been aware of it, that there actually is a science behind why your favorite music is your favorite music. And interestingly enough, it will be your favorite music for your whole life. Okay. So if you were to jump back, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago, whatever, and you were talking to a bunch of, say, 70, 80 year olds, a lot of them, their favorite music would be, say, swing music and, Benny Goodman, Frank Sinatra, those kind of things. And you go into the old age homes, and that's the kind of music you would hear. It's because that was their favorite music, and you're going to learn why that was their favorite music. Now, the crazy thing is that think about your favorite music right now. And let's just say that you're 20. I'm just going to pick an easy age for math. So let's say that you're 20. Think about who your favorite artists are right now. And then think about when you're 80, think about all the 80-year-olds, right, in the senior citizens' homes. That music is the music that's going to be playing in the senior citizen homes. So kind of gives you, if you think about it and you put two and two together, it's kind of funny to think about it. I mean, some of them maybe make sense, Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift or whatever, but the thing that people will be listening to, Red Hot Chili Peppers, which, I mean, has been around forever, but they got a new record coming out. And, Kanye or Ye or whatever you want to call him nowadays, whatever he calls himself, or even crazier stuff than that. It's an interesting concept to think about. So that you're going to go through the material. So you have the welcome video. When you finish that assignment, this assignment right now, questions popping up, this will unlock the next module. Then you will have all the learning materials. You get through that, and then it will unlock the assignments. The assignments unlock on Tuesday mornings. So your new materials, the welcome video and your learning materials, those open up 8 o'clock Monday mornings every week. Your assignments open up 8 o'clock Tuesday, the assignment modules. And there's prerequisites and things that do different unlocking things. Your discussion reply, which in this one is going to be just the whole group. I mentioned in the welcome video that I usually do small groups, but for this one, it's everybody. It's just kind of a meet and greet. It's so we kind of get to learn a little bit about each other. So you're going to embed a picture, and you're going to write a little bit. I've already asked you in your welcome letter to write a little bit about yourself. You're going to put that in there. And then there's also an extra credit thing coming up. 2 extra credit things coming up this semester, or this module, sorry, not semester. So I take advantage of it because they're not going to be around for more than 2 weeks, the extra credit ones. Your discussion replies due Thursday night. The videos are due, the answers to this video due by noon on Thursdays. And then all the other assignments are due by the end of the day. The regular assignments are due on Sunday nights. So if you have questions, reach out. One last thing, if you're watching this on Monday, tonight, so Monday night, the 7th, from 7 to 8 o'clock, I'll be in ConferZoom. It's set up. You can see it. It's basically Zoom that just runs through this. It's just an open house. It's not required. But if you want to say hi, ask any questions, whatever, I'm there. It'll just be open, and I'll just be probably sitting at my desk doing work, and we'll go from there. So I think that's it. That's pretty straightforward. It's a good week to get things settled before we start digging into the material. So have a great day. We'll see you soon or not. I do send out reminders on Thursday mornings just to let you know what's coming up and what's due. So make sure that you set up your notifications so that you get those. I recommend that you do it on your phone. And I think I said this in the welcome video, but I recommend not doing your assignments on your phone. I recommend doing them on a computer so that you can actually write well and watch your typos and watch all that sort of stuff. But, take the time to do good work. And I'll just say that there, right? Okay. That's it. Have a great week. Glad you're in the class. It's going to be a fun one.